A very significant part of the quality of our life is based on the quality of our relationships. And it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can be at work, it can be with friends, it can be with family. And it's vitally important for you guys to understand this model that Mark Knapps beautifully put together to explain how we're coming together and how we're coming apart. I believe that after watching this video, you will reevaluate relationships. You will see also where you are in a relationship with your partner, in a relationship with your friends, and you would know also where they're at with you based on what I'm going to share with you today. This entire video is going to be very full of knowledge, full of a lot of little snippets and gold nuggets. So make sure that you have a pen and a paper handy. Take notes because you're going to love this one. Let's dive in. Knapps Relational Development Model. Let me introduce you to Mark Knapp real quick. He is a renowned teaching professor at the University of Texas and is greatly known for his work in nonverbal communication research and evolving interactions. In this graphic illustration, you will be able to see very clearly how we are coming together and how we are coming apart. I'm going to explain to you I'm going to give you actually an overview right now, and then we're going to dive in deeper. So it starts with initiating. It's reduce uncertainty and promote positive outcomes by exchanging public information and following broadly held social norms. Then we move on to experimenting. Discover common grounds, share with the partner by engaging in small talk and sharing personal, though not private information. We're playing it safe right now. Then go to intensifying, establish mutual awareness of the relationship and begin to lay ground rules. Then we're going to move to integrating, establish an identity as a social norm, as a social unit by highlighting qualities that make this relationship unique. And the top of coming together is bonding, formally establishing a relationship through public ritual. And here you're going to see that in between the coming together and coming apart, there is the relational maintenance. Now, it's very important for you to understand that you can go from initiating to terminating, avoiding and terminating at once. It doesn't have to be in this order that I'm just saying here. It can go from initiating to bonding really quick. It can go from, like I said, experimenting to avoiding and then terminating. There is no particular order with which this pyramid, this thing goes, because we're human beings. But I just want you to understand the stages, and you can see which stage you're in and which stage you're in with somebody else based on the behaviors that they are showing you. And I'm going to dive deeper into what kind of behaviors each and every one of the stages represent and how people actually act when they are initiating, when they're experimenting, when they're in stagnation, etc. Let's dive deeper into this. And the relation, by the way, the relational maintenance right here at the middle, the relational maintenance is when you are communicating with each other, when you're talking, when you resolving issues, when you become vulnerable. This is the relational maintenance that it's extremely, extremely important. What I do to maintain my relationships, I do with my team, because you have a relationship with your coworkers, team, and you have a relationship with your spouse, you have a relationship with other people that are important in your life. And what I do check-ins with the people that I love. With my partner, I do monthly check-in, and we check in with each other to see what went right this month, what went wrong this month, if I hurt you in some way, how can I be better and show up better for you. I have a lot of stuff in the love check-in, which I will make a video on it. And let me know in the comments below if you want to see a video on how to check in with your partner, because it's very, very important in order for you to maintain the relationship. And also with my team, we do it actually weekly. What went right, what went wrong, what we can learn, what can we do, how can we show up better for each other. So definitely important. Let's go back into the presentation. Now, coming apart It starts with differentiation. It usually starts with differentiation. It doesn't have to be in this particular order like I just said, but just know that it usually starts with differentiation. Express the leaves, or do activities that aren't shared with the partner. Circumscribing, create psychological distance by sharing less information and avoiding conversational topics. Stagnation, avoid communication or talk about partner's flaws, relationship problems, and ongoing disagreements. This is why I told you the check-in is very important, because if not, you will fall into stagnation very, very quickly. Avoiding, then we go to avoiding. Create physical distance by ignoring the partner, staying away, and engaging in minimal communication. Terminating, of course, this is the end of the relationship. Yep. So now let's dive in deeper into each and every one of these beautiful stages. All right, let's begin with coming together. The first stage of coming together is initiation. This is a very short stage, and it's all about making a first impression. Physical appearance plays a great role in impression making, such as dress they wear, perfume they use, and the overall appearance. First impression, like you already know, it's what you see, and if you're attracted to this person, energy or physical appearances, this is where you initiate contact, and that is all there is to it for the first part. I know it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's important for you guys to understand that this is usually how this begins. Now, the second stage is experimenting. In this stage, each person will analyze the other for information or common interests, so they can decide whether to maintain the relationship or exit. Most of the relationships wind up here due to different interest level. And this is where usually you ask this person, where you from? What you do for a living? Oh, you visited Texas too. I've been there as well. Do you like French bulldogs? Yes, I do. I have one. Ooh, I love that. And then you start looking for commonalities, because you gotta have some kind of glue, something that will glue you guys together. It can be also mutual experiences or hobbies, or like I just said, it can be dogs, pets, work, everything. This is where you experiment. And like we already said, most relationship just ends up here due to differences, and that is okay. Next one, intensifying. In this stage, the relationship intensify and become less formal. People will start revealing their personal information and will analyze the impression of the other person. They find various ways to nurture a relationship, to strengthen interpersonal development, such as gifts, spending more time together, asking for dates, expecting a relationship, commitment, etc. This is when you start feeling that you start caring about this person, you start caring about what they do, you start feeling a bond with them, because you had this initial bond, you experiment a little bit, and now you are more interested in getting to know them even further. The next stage is integrating, where you're basically integrating the other person into your life. It can be in a form of giving him or her the key to your apartment. Start integrating them into your life in a way that you invite them for holiday. You invite them to meet your family. And in a business relationship, it can be promotion. It can be giving this person a little bit more responsibility, because you want to integrate him even further into the company. It can be in many, many, many different ways. So integrating is a very crucial part of coming together, and this is why it's 4 out of 5. Last but not least, bonding. In this stage, a person will announce to the world about the relationship, and this is where you see people go, I'm in a relationship on Facebook, when they post it, because this is they're bonded, and they want to just show it to the world, publicize it, and this is where it is. Now we're going to the not so happy stage, but it is what it is sometimes. Coming apart. Let's go to the graphic illustration one more time. It starts with differentiation usually, and I wanted to re-emphasize that it starts usually with differentiation. At this stage, people start feeling the differences it can be due to other external pressures and start thinking individually rather than with the partner. They may start developing hobbies or other endeavors. The relationship will start to fade, and yeah, the everlasting bond will be broken. The feeling of dislike is often expressed by the partner on their commitment. The next stage is circumscribing. After differentiating, partners will limit their conversation and will set up boundaries in their communications. Often, people will never communicate the topic, fearing an argument. They will have their own personal space and activities. And this is where you start seeing people just kind of doing their own thing, start doing their own thing. Don't really, not, there's not much communication at this point. And this is a huge red flag. This is why I say it's always very important to communicate and have this weekly or monthly or bi-weekly love check-in with your partner. If it's in a romantic relationship, if it's a business relationship, weekly, you need to be on top of things all the time to make sure that everybody's on the same page, because once they're not, this is where they're coming apart. The next one is stagnation. The relationship will decline even more if it reaches the stagnation stage. The communication will be very much more limited. The only reason the partners does not separate is due to some type of insecurity or legal commitment, such as having kids together. Most of the relationship in this stage will not continue or improve. This is where people just together, but they don't want to be together. And wow, this, I've been a lot in this stagnation stage, and I've learned that when I start feeling stagnant in a relationship, it's just time to go. That's time to go. Because if we were not able to communicate up until this point, it's very hard to revive this. It's not that easy. A good communication needs to be from the beginning. It's not all of a sudden. This is why I see a lot of people that going in a relationship, the communication is not good, then they try to improve the communication, but there is too much past between them that it's very hard to bury the hatchet. Sometimes people can, most times not, but if you're stagnant in your relationship, reevaluate, communicate, and see if you can save it or not. Avoiding. At this stage, it's very obvious that the partner intentionally avoid any contact and they will be physically detached. This is where you stop having sex. They restrict themselves from any forms of communication to avoid conversation or an argument. People, when they start coming apart, it's very hard. This is why when somebody is breaking up with you, understand it's very hard. This is why they gotta separate themselves. They got to start detaching themselves from you, because if they stay attached to you, it will be very, much harder. This is why they go into avoidance mode, because it makes this process of terminating much easier, which this is the last one. Terminating, this is the final stage of coming apart. This is where it's done. There is not much more to say, not much more to do, and people just pull the plug on the relationship or fire the employee or do whatever just to say this is over, this is done, thank you for your service. I know it's hard to understand when you are in the side that being terminated, but it sounds so cliche that every door that closes open up another one. This is so true. Everything in my life that ended, it was a seed for something better to come. So understand that wherever you are in this, in your relationships, whether it's with relationships or romantic relationships or work, everything always happening for you. Nothing is happening to you in this world. Everything is happening for you, for your own good and for your own expansion. So take everything that is happening to you, be glad and happy that it happens. Find what's good in this situation, put a smile on your face, and carry on. With that said, thank you so much for watching. Sending you much love. I'll see you in the next one.